Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way, improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to healthcare and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 101.7 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
Yes. Welcome back. You are in the Grapevine. I'm your host, Manan Sabir, and we just had a dope show with Ray and Shannon. I know they laid it out. It's 2 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? Good afternoon, Milwaukee. I know where my kid is. She's somewhere at a camp, terrorizing the camp, doing what she got to do. But it's 2 o'clock and the lines are open. I'm going to get this out the way. The lines are open, 833-212-1017. We got a jam-packed show for you today. And I'm starting today with a number that stopped me cold, 1 billion. What would you do with 1 billion? What would you do with 1 billion? Nah, I'm not talking about dollars, though. 1 billion people on the planet are suffocating in their sleep right now, right today. 1 billion people are suffocating in their sleep right now. And most of them have no idea that is happening. That's where we start. Then, did body positivity go too far? Did body positivity go too far? Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. Did that body positivity go a little too far? I'm trying to think about it. I've been trying to think about it all morning. We stopped bullying people about their weight, and that's good. It's overdue. But somewhere in there, did we stop telling the truth about a health crisis? I mean, come on. That's a phone line segment, because I don't want to answer that question myself, because I want to hear from everybody else. Like, are we really telling ourselves the truth? I want to know. Then the great e-bike war. Like, okay, I got a story to tell you. Great e-bike war. So I was going to Target, and I saw this guy, and he is on his way to work. It's early morning, and he's on this e-bike, and he's flying on this e-bike too. But the brother was overweight. And I was like, so it got me thinking, do e-bikes have weight limits? So I researched it, and e-bikes have weight limits. And I was trying to find out, my thought was, what type of are we giving illusions of grandeur when we purchase these bikes and we're told to pedal pretty much to get these bikes rolling, majority of the e-bikes, and then we allow them to basically run without us pedaling. So we're gonna go down this path, this rabbit hole. I like this rabbit hole because it allows me to look at these with a really fine-tooth comb. And I've got two studies that kind of flat out contradict each other about this. And finally, I'm giving out my juice recipe. Yeah, I'm gonna call it ibuprofen.
Bruh.
You was ready. Look, Zach, you had your finger right on the trigger, man.
I mean, it sounds like you're giving away the secret formula.
I am. Nah, this ain't the one, but this is one of them. I'm about to hit. It's gonna change y'all morning. It's got the secret. This little ibuprofen. It's not ibuprofen. It's ibuprofen will change your morning, your sinuses, possibly your marriage, or your relationship, or whatever you got going on. Some of y'all got some things going on. Then the cookout argument. I got this cookout argument for real. Zach, you probably want to put your finger on the trigger on this one, though. Can we cause schizophrenia? Not does it make you weird? Like, we know when people do weird things. People do weird things when they get on these things, but does weed make you, can weed cause schizophrenia? And we're going to talk about it from a scientific perspective. Like, I don't smoke. I don't drink. But I do know what the effects of this stuff can do. We all know. We know what happens when people are under the influence of whatever. So the research is asking, can it break your brain? And this research is much more serious than what I kind of make it seem like. And it's much more serious than either side wants to admit, right? And we're doing that one straight. And at 3 o'clock, Nadia Johnson, founder and CEO of Jet Constellations, will be in the building. Founder of the Milky Way Tech Hub will be in the building. Professor at Marquette will be in the building. And she sits on the governor's task force on workforce and artificial intelligence. I got a lot of questions on AI. Well, I don't know. I don't even know if we have a couple. We don't even have enough time to cover all of that. But I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to get to some of it. If you ever laid awake wondering whether a computer is coming for your paycheck, she is the person who actually knows. So that's going to be at 3 o'clock. And I'm wondering if a computer is going to come for our paychecks. I want to know. So that's coming at 3 o'clock, and in 2 hours, let's go. So here's the number. Researchers estimate nearly 1 billion adults worldwide have obstructive sleep apnea. About 936 million. Roughly 10 times what we used to think here in the United States. Over 30 million people, and the majority have never been diagnosed. Nearly 24 million Americans have this. Nobody's ever told them. That's not a health issue. That's a national blackout. I was just walking into the building, and gentleman told me that his brother has sleep apnea. His brother has sleep apnea. Let's play. Zach, do we got that clip pulled up? His brother has sleep apnea. And I went down this rabbit hole today not even a rabbit hole. This is a very serious subject. We have so many people. Just think about it. 55% of black people in Wisconsin are overweight, obese, overweight. It doesn't mean that all those folks have sleep apnea, but what it does mean is that they are prone to having it. So let's think about this. Let's see if we can break this down. And I want to tell you what it actually is. Because people hear sleep apnea and they think snoring. No, that's wrong. It's not snoring. It means your airway collapses. You stop breathing, and to keep you from suffocating in your own bed, your brain panics and jolts you awake just enough to grab a breath, usually without you ever knowing it happened. I'm not a doctor. We're going to play this clip, so let the doctor talk.
I'm thinking about sleep apnea, and there's two kinds, right? There's obstructive sleep apnea. That's the kind that we typically know about. We know about the sleep apnea that makes it so that you're snoring, and we can hear you snoring down, 2 rooms down. Like if you have a partner, right, who suffers from sleep apnea, you know that, hey, I got to fall asleep before this person. Because if I don't fall asleep before this person here, I'm not going to be able to go to sleep, like, because their snoring is going to be way too much, right? And then you have central sleep apnea, right? And that's more due to the issues of the brain, right? And that's where the brain, stops sending that signal to say, hey, you should take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. Of course, obviously, you're thinking maybe the central sleep apnea is definitely worse, and it is, right? Because if the brain isn't sending the signal, that's a problem. But the obstructive sleep apnea causes just as much damage, especially when we start looking at the downwind effect. And that's where I like to come in, right? When I'm thinking about
he's telling the truth. You take a look at this. When you have sleep apnea, the first one he was just talking about, the first sleep apnea is the sleep apnea where you're affecting it's loud. You're affecting the sleep of the person that's laying next to you. You're affecting the person, the people that are around you, that are in your bed. That's the sleep apnea that is causing problems in your house. That's the sleep apnea. The other sleep apnea is the one that is really, really detrimental too. And we'll continue to get into this subject as we move along throughout these segments, because here's the bill. Undiagnosed sleep apnea costs this country an estimated $150 billion. We already know that this war has cost probably close to $1 trillion already. They already asked for $67 billion, but we can push that to the side. $150 billion a year. That means lost productivity, car accidents, workplace accidents. So next time your coworker is a zombie at 2 p.m. and you're thinking, man, they got a bad attitude, old stinking breath coworker. You think that might not be a bad attitude. That just might be a medical condition with some spreadsheet attached to it. That's a walking medical condition. And I think we need to address that, especially here in Milwaukee, because we're looking at individuals that are walking around with heavy loads, not just of stress, but also loss of sleep. When we get back, and when we come back, we're going to talk about sleep apnea. We're going to cut it, and then we're going to talk more about what we can do to get rid of it. All right. We'll be back in 3.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Boys all day, get on stage!
No sleep till!
Yes. No sleep to Brooklyn and no sleep to Milwaukee. It's a lot of people not getting to sleep out here. I had to address this, man, because we're looking at a lot of folks that out here that are looking to preserve their lives. And this is what I'm here to, and I'm called to do, is to help folks preserve their lives. For real. It should be a no-brainer to haul off and count the amount of people maybe in your family or in someone else's family that are living to 100 years old. It should be no problem. We should be able to, there shouldn't be a code, like a secret code to get to 100. That code should be given to everybody. And I think what's going on is there's a system in place. There's a system in our lives where before, things really became toxic in America, before things became toxic and internationally, we were able to understand the code and the secret to living to be 100. Now, it shouldn't be a surprise that someone is living to be 100 years old and thriving. I have an aunt that's 102 years old, and I promise you she's getting around very, very well. But there's also other people that are in our blue zones that are still gardening, still driving, still walking, still playing Yahtzee. They're playing lawn bowling, like stuff like that. And you know what they're doing? Not only are they living, they're developing longer periods of quality of life. They're living. They're living. So I felt compelled to even discuss this subject because I think it's really, really important. So many of us are living lives where we're not sleeping. And sleep is one of the greatest ways in order for us to live longer. Now, everybody, if we're talking about sleep apnea, and that's what we're talking about right now on this subject, everybody listening is picturing the same guy, same woman, older, heavy, sawing logs, sawing logs in their recliner. Man. Researchers say that stereotype is exactly why this gets missed. I'm gonna play this clip real quick. Zach got it. Y'all got to see this because.
All right, that's all I'm playing. I don't like the sound of that. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Zach. Zach, the reason why we had to cut it is one of the reasons. Like, we could play it for like a minute, but Zach, he has a bunch of monitors in the back. But y'all get the point. Y'all get the point. It's bad, and it's badly undiagnosed for women. So I think that was a woman, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's a woman. I'm playing it on mute. Look.
Yeah.
Just imagine her snoring very bad and annoying.
Yeah. Exactly, Zach. Like, yeah. It's very, very, it's deeply undiagnosed for women. And if you are a woman that is overweight, that is going through hormonal changes, that is, you have a different type of anatomy. So when you're laying down, what happens is, if you're laying on your side, it's less pronounced, more so than if you're laying on your back. So you're laying on your back, your stomach is being pushed up into your chest, breastplate area, and then it's blocking the airway, your throat airway. So your tongue has to try to thin out or reach the top of the roof of your mouth in order for you to breathe properly. This is a real conversation. So if you next to somebody, kicking it with somebody, your wife or whoever it is, and they go to sleep and you notice that they are snoring like this, do not let them don't let them start snoring. Wake them up and then try to help them maneuver themselves into a better position, and then go to the doctor immediately. So here's a crazy statistic that said that most Black patients are undiagnosed, and they also underestimated. And if you realize, if anybody remembers Reggie White passed from complications with it, and also a number of other individuals passed in their sleep with complications from sleep apnea. And this is real life. So I need y'all to hold on. We're going to hold on to this topic for a while, and we're going to come back to it because I want to make sure that we have a doctor who's a part of a chronobiology study that will be able to address this in detail. So, I got to get through this. We got Nadia Johnson coming on at 3:00. So we're going to have that really, really great conversation. If you guys have anybody who is a part of your life that needs a sleep CPAP machine, or is, you're being bothered by a person that snores or has sleep apnea, please call in 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. And now I want to switch the subject, but it's actually the same one, because America, I want to congratulate everybody in America. I want to congratulate everybody in America because we finally stopped bullying people about their weight. And I want to be clear before anybody misreads where I'm going with this. That's a good thing. That's a humongous thing, literally. It was it was overdue. It was completely overdue. People were crude for a long time. I mean, really, really long time. I remember going to school and, man, I remember going to school and this dude was overweight. And I think it was even a phenomenon at our school because pretty much everybody had, they were of size, but he was above weight. And, man, they used to pick on this dude a lot in grade school. Just tremendously. But it was ugly. It was ugly. And hopefully he's doing good. But here's today's question, and I need y'all to sit with it before you really dial. Did we swing too far the other way that we weren't allowed to call a health crisis anymore? Did we swing too far? Did we go too far into body positivity to where it wasn't a health crisis? We got to I think I remember the Dove commercials, and Dove commercials started showing people, with body positivity, awareness, and all this other stuff, which is good. The mannequins started changing, which is good. And it started showing, people with real shapes, day-to-day shapes. But did we go during that period of time? And I know it's regressing now, but did we go too far? And here are the facts, and they're not my opinion. Roughly 4 in 10 American adults have obesity. That's 40%. And it's linked to diabetes, heart disease, and a whole bunch of cancers. Several cancers. Now listed, there are 120 different types of cancers. So this obesity is linked to several different types of cancers. Shorter lives, and that's real medicine. We're not talking some fluff. That's real medicine. So you can be as kind as you want, but that still stays true. And this is where I think my angriest callers always skip, though. Decades of research show shame doesn't work. So you can't scare somebody into going to the gym. You're going to push them out the gym. For real. Shame makes people avoid the doctor. Shame makes people skip, places like the gym. Shame makes people hide. So if your strategy is to make fun of them, is to mock them healthy, then you just achieved the award. You help select the one approach that's pretty much proven to fail. So the fight isn't acceptance versus health. That's a fake fight. The real question is there a difference between respecting a person and celebrating the condition? Can a doctor say this is really hurting you? Can a doctor really say that without it being an attack? Has your doctor ever, if you are open to calling the phone line, but if you are overweight, doesn't matter. I'm not trying to pick on you, but has your doctor ever said, man, this is really hurting you? This is really hurting you. Can you love yourself on Monday and want to change something on Tuesday, or is that a contradiction? So listen, this connects directly to the hour we just did. And if a doctor is too nervous to ask a patient one hard question, that patient goes home and stops breathing 300 times a night for another 10 years, man, politeness straight up has a body count. It does. Politeness has a body count, and we have to do something about it. When we come back, we're going to talk about Gunna. Yep, the rapper Gunna, and what he did and how he is keeping himself in shape. We'll be back in 3.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Came out the bottom, I count a whole lot of young gunner worth millions of dollars. I asked out the charm, I lived the model, she made a few ends off a follow. Yo, one on tour, a beauty the child, living a cool matata. Handle my worries, I'm up at it earlier, trying to figure out a problem.
Yep, he said he up early trying to figure out a problem, and he know what he did. He know what he's doing. He trying to figure out that problem. Yeah, his problem was, I remember him going on the Breakfast Club. When he went on the Breakfast Club, he said after the studio, he goes straight to McDonald's. Man, he was a big dude. I mean, he wasn't small at all. He was a big dude. Gonna change his life, man. A lot of people are changing their life. A lot of folks are changing their life right now. It's about that time. It don't take you to go to, what's that place, Foot Locker or Foot Action to grab some shoes and then start running. You don't need to do that. That don't, I seen if Beyonce can dance in high heels, you can start walking down the street in your heels after work. Like, I know your feet may hurt, but what's better? Your feet hurting and you losing the pounds, losing the inches, or you sitting at your desk and your feet kicked up. Hey, there's a difference. Hopefully y'all listen to this, because I think there's proof in what this young man did. And I think if you think love yourself and change yourself is impossible, Gunna did it. He did it. Now, men's health profile, Gunna, 33 years old, and the first thing he wanted out of the gym wasn't muscle. It wasn't abs. It wasn't a photo. It was discipline. It was discipline. he put the same discipline he put into making his music was the same discipline he put into changing his life and making his life healthier. We got that clip pulled up. We're gonna pull a couple clips up. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Gunna, that man, I'm telling you, he changed his life. You look at him now, and you wouldn't think that's the same dude. You wouldn't think that's the same Gunna that was 4 years ago. His life was straight chaos. I mean, straight chaos. He was facing a racketeering. He was facing a racketeering charge. Y'all know about that racketeering charges. He was facing a racketeering charge. The whole world was screaming at him. And he started training. He just started training. He just started training because his mind needed somewhere quiet to go. And that's it. That's the reason. Not a man runs, he boxes, he lifts. He's every city that he goes to, whether it's Johannesburg, Beijing, Accra, Ghana, New York City, LA, Dallas, Houston, Chicago, Minneapolis, wherever, Memphis, Tennessee, he hosts his own run club. So he gets out there and starts running with folks. That is called change. That is called what we call being a change agent, a person who can get to a level of discipline and just stick to it, no matter what. He said he leaves the studio. He may leave, late, early in the morning or whatever, but he goes right into his workout, finishes his workout, then he's able to go home and go to sleep. He'll work up to the time he has to work out, get the thing in, and then do what he got to do. He says abs are made in the gym, are made in the kitchen. Yo, we're going to pull up this audio clip of Gunna. I'm doing this because we need to inspire some folks. We need a call to action. This is your call to action. If you listen to this, wherever you listen to this, make sure that you doing a call to action for yourself. Let's play this clip real quick.
Have you changed a lot of that too?
Yes. Even like my routine of like down to when I wake up and go to the studio. Like when I'm at the studio, I was used to leaving the studio like sometimes the next day, like 7, 8 in the morning. Now it's be like some 4s and 5s in the morning because I got to work out in the morning.
Right.
It's like it's just one of my things right now that I'm just locked in on. I don't see me not locking in on it because health as well.
Do you feel, have you started, I'm sure you have, but just so you could tell the audience, because maybe, they trying to get they life together and they journey right. Have you started to feel that necessity of working out where it's like, if I don't do it, I feel like my day ain't right, like something's wrong with my day?
I worked out this morning.
Right.
every day.
Yeah, have you changed a lot of that too?
Yes.
Yeah. Yo, and then, we got another clip up. If you are listening on the radio, we got another clip up of him running on the treadmill. Like, the dude looks good. He looks great. Excellent condition. But it didn't take him. Sometimes we get on. We think that we need to lift weights and do all that when we have free time, and that's not the case, because you can do it when you are at home, when you got kids all around you. They can do it with you. It's really all about changing yourself so your environment will change with you. So nobody shamed him into that. Nobody mocked Gunna into changing his life. He just chose it. And he chose it from wanting peace, not from hating himself. He didn't have to hate himself. So that's the entire argument. We're literally in one guy. Literally in one guy. You can change the change isn't impossible. Nah. The change isn't impossible. So my questions, and these are you can apply yourself online right now. Come hit up the chat, or you could text us 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017, or you could answer this question yourself in your head. But has a doctor ever tiptoed around your weight and danced around it, wouldn't say the word, or did one hit you way too hard with it? Which one actually changed anything? And here's my other question. I love myself and I want to change. Or is that just being an adult? I love myself. I want to change. I love myself and I want to change. Let's answer these questions. I know when I had gained a little weight, whatever. It wasn't a lot. But you start thinking different. Especially when you want to try to have a better quality of life, you'll try to do anything in your power, especially when you find yourself going downhill. You'll do anything in your power to make sure you have a better quality of life. But there's also the other thing where those addictions be talking to you. Listen, I like Sour Patch Kids. Not just like them, I love them. And if I could have Sour Patch Kids at least once a week, that'd be my thing. Sour Patch Kids, Funyuns, and a Red Bull. But I ain't had them in so long.
It's a weird combo.
It's the worst combo in the world. But if I could put it in a if I could put it in a cereal bowl, man, not like that. Not like all mixed up into one. But you get what I'm saying. You out of your damn mind. I'm very much out of my damn mind. But you think what I'm saying? Like I like, that's what what did Sir Mix-a-Lot say? I like big butts and I can't lie. I like Sour Patch and I cannot lie. I like Funyuns and I cannot lie. Straight up, man. So we deal with these addictions every day. Everybody, no matter how what you do in your life, you're dealing with one of these, an addiction to some type of food, and you're always fighting it, especially here in America, because they've made food addictive. But once you hit that one workout, though, here's the difference, though. When you hit that one workout, and that workout is like really, really good, and you don't want to sabotage that workout. This morning I had a workout. I worked out with my nephew. Pico, send me that video. I want to play the video of me and my guy doing burpees. Now I felt like I was doing burpees this morning, and I felt like my chest was about to explode. I felt like, man, this is out of order. Doing burpees with a 17-year-old, and I'm 48. Nah, bro. That is not for the weak. I went out the gate too hard. Like my legs are noodles right now. But I do say right now I feel great. I'm alive. I think I could probably go out and try it again. And I'm not that far out of shape. Some of us are. Hey, when we come back, we motorized the bicycle, Milwaukee, and I'm finally giving the juice recipe out. So everybody, make sure you stay put. Be back in 3 minutes.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Milwaukee, your weekdays have a new rhythm. Start your mornings with conversations that matter.
Again, I'm the legendary Homer Blow, along with my girl,
Bailey Coleman. Truth in the Morning with Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman. Weekdays, 7 to 9 a.m. Then keep it locked with the voice of the community.
And the more you know and the more skills you have, the more training you have, the better off your community is.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, 9 a.m. to noon. Lunch is on us. Turning up your midday vibe.
It's your boy Ray Nitty and my co-host Maybe Shannon.
It's the lunch break with Ray Nitty and Maybe Shannon, noon to 2 p.m. And don't stop there. Keep the conversation going with the Grapevine with Manan Sabir.
That's right. I'm your host, Manan Sabir.
Bringing the stories and voices you need to hear, 2 to 4 p.m. Then we're closing out your day with energy. Lots of it.
It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct.
Tap in with Jazz Tyler every afternoon, 4 to 7 p.m. Your home for Milwaukee Conversations. The award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Thirsty, thirsty, trying to choose. I mean, I know I'm pretty cool. My nitty bag, my kitty boots. I got the juice, I got the juice.
Yeah.
Chatham's on. Foolies glad I'm home. Even my haters kind of glad I'm on.
Chi-Town's own Sir Chance-a-Lot. Man, you on point, Zach. Yo, Milwaukee, I saw you this weekend. I saw some of y'all this weekend. Straight up. Cruising the Oak Leaf Trail, the Tamarack Trail, the Tippy Canoe Trail. I bet y'all's out there, the Tippy Canoe Park. I think, man, y'all's out there 20 miles an hour. Not a drop of sweat, though. Not a drop of sweat. Sunglasses on, y'all breeze, just y'all hair was just flowing in the wind. Well, maybe not the people who got hair like mine. But, and you got home. You probably told your wife or whoever, your husband, that you went for a bike ride. Yes, you did. You probably went home and was like, man, you know what? That bike ride was nice. Ooh, had a chance to get over, ride past some leaves in the bookstore, and you just out there just kicking it. And you bust one sweat. One. And that was from the sun. So, did you really go for a bike ride? Or was you the cargo? You was a cargo on your bike? This ties into what we just were talking about. Because we spent basically 20 minutes on discipline versus shortcuts. Gunners out there starting run clubs, and meanwhile, we motorized the bicycle. The bicycle, like of all things, we went from walking as a species to riding to pedaling. Okay, got it. We need to get somewhere across. I know somebody that went across Africa. On a bike. Yep. Good brother of mine went across Africa on a bike. So, yes, we went from walking to pedaling to an e-bike. And we got it. We understand. E-bike, it mocks and it mirrors the motorcycle. We understand. But e-bike costs less, and you could charge it up. Charge it up and away you go. Very simple, modest, honest machine. Pretty much ever built. You pedal and it just goes. And that's the whole deal. But what's next though? An e-treadmill that walks for you so you watch the thing go. A dumbbell that lifts itself. A pool that swims. Like, at what point did making fitness accessible quietly become removing the fitness? For real. Like, I need y'all really to defend yourselves on this, because there was a study of over 10,000 people across 7 European countries. And e-bike riders, and we're going to have a contradictory little study over here. But e-bike riders got more total exercise per week than regular cyclists. More. Because they ride more often. They go further. Probably about 15 miles a day versus 5.3. The guy with the motor is out exercising, his spandex army. But I need a minute. And we all need a minute. But because scientists cannot agree on anything ever, a different study strapped actual smartwatches on almost 2,000 riders and found the opposite. E-bike riders exercise less than conventional cyclists, less than people who are on bicycles. So even the eggheads is fist fighting. Even the people who are the researchers are fist fighting over this thing. I want to know, Milwaukee, whose side are you on? Here's a detail I think settles it. Pedal assist bikes, where you still have to pedal and the motor just helps, showed real physical activity benefits. Yes. Throttle bikes with the thumb, where you just twist it and cruise and pedal, is basically way less. So if your thumb is doing the work, if your thumb is doing the cardio, it doesn't count. That's not a bicycle. That's a Vespa. That's a Schwinn with a motorcycle attached to it, motorcycle engine attached to it. And one more thing, this was not a joke. This one's your money. Most e-bikes weight limits are somewhere between 250 to 300 pounds. And almost nobody, look, I was at the park. I was just walking. And I seen a person that was on a bike, e-bike, and they had to been at the limit. And I just was thinking, like, nobody is anyone checking the bike before they buy it, before they purchase it? I'm pretty sure it's buried in the manual under like 47 pages of battery warnings. And I think there's a safety spec on a $2,000 machine. When you buy a $2,000 machine, I think there's a safety spec on it. So, and the manufacturers hide it. I think y'all need to check the safety specs. That's on them, not on you. That's on them, straight up. Hey y'all, before we get Nadia Johnson onto our show, as you are riding your bike, as you are getting inspiration from Gunna, as you are realizing that you don't need sleep apnea. Sleep apnea needs you. You don't need sleep apnea. Sleep apnea needs you. It's chasing you. So before we figure out all of that, I'm going to give you my juice recipe. Something you got. I know y'all been waiting for this. This is my juice recipe. So since we're on health today, I know some of y'all listening like, man, what is he? He's going in. Yes, I went through from topic to topic to topic. You've been asking me for this for weeks. So here it is. Some people have been asking for weeks. This is my juice recipe. It's called I call it ibuprofen. Not ibu. Ibuprofen. And before you drink it, make sure you realize that this thing is real deal. It's the real deal. I'm gonna give it to you real quick. It's 2 oranges, 1 lime, garlic, a few cloves, onion, a chunk of onion. Yes, I said an onion. Don't email me. Don't email me. Just remember, fresh ginger, a good knob of it, fresh turmeric, 1 habanero pepper, 1 habanero pepper. Remember I said 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 cup of apple cider vinegar, and honey. And make sure you put water in it to taste, just to thin it out. Just to thin it out. Remember what I said. And then you blend it in a blender, strain it, put it in a glass jar, and keep it there. Just let it sit for an hour, and then start taking it back. There you go. That's my juice recipe when you're sick. Al, what's up, man?
Well, I just wanted to run down and tell the listeners, you got to find your own healthiness when it comes to your body, recognizing the body of flesh and every flesh and the addiction of some kind. Just remember where you start and where you go in. Everybody is not meant to be a 32-inch waist if you are a man. Some of you are built like semi-trucks. Some of you are built for power. Some of you women are not meant to be a size 0. Some of you are a 32-inch waist with 52-inch hips with 48 triple D breasts. Only thing that we are saying is embrace your flesh and drink your water. You can try to eat healthy, but do it when the time is right for you. Because whether you're super healthy or you're super big, you're still going to deal with life. Just enjoy your life. Too much of anything can be dangerous. Have a great day.
Al, thank you so much. And don't you guys dare touch that dial. On the other side of this break, we got Nadia Johnson, founder of CEO Zech Constellations, founder of Milky Way Tech Hub. She's a professor at Marquette, and she sits on the governor's task force of workforce and artificial intelligence. Every one of you has wondered whether a computer is coming for your paycheck. And she's about to tell you, Nadia Johnson, next.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 101.7 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
Whoa, yes. Welcome back to the Grapevine. We're about to pick some more grapes. We got Nadia Johnson. In the building. What's up,
hey.
Nadia? How you doing?
Oh, my goodness. I'm so excited to be here. What an honor.
Yes. You know what? You're one of my favorite people. And you already know why, but, we're going to get right to it.
Okay.
I know you came in, you're like, nah, nobody wants to hear about me. But I think people who haven't heard about you need to hear about you just a little bit. And I'm just going to read it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Founder of Jet Constellations, founder of the Milky Way Tech Hub. You are, Milwaukee. You got a Milwaukee. So Jet Constellations is a Milwaukee-based software company building tech solutions in the medical, financial, and also socially responsible industries. I'm going to run through this, y'all, because we got to get to a lot of this. You have a social impact arm with your company, Milky Way Tech Hub. Yeah. You're working to make Milwaukee a better place, especially for Black people, professional and non-professional, so they can thrive in technology. You're a 3-time Marquette graduate. You just lived at Marquette. Talking about squatting, man.
Cringe,
right? You're a professor at Marquette's computer science department, and your doctoral research focuses on artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And that is why we're here.
Yeah. I said cringe because, man, 3 degrees at Marquette University basically outed me. I didn't have a social life until like my 30s.
Right. Yeah.
But here I am.
Yeah. But people probably realize that, like, man, she's just coming out the shell. Now you ready?
Yeah.
And congratulations too. Before we get to anything, congratulations, you are recently engaged.
Yes, I'm newly engaged.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So we're in receipt of that, and hopefully that will go over. Let me know privately where the place is, so
where the shindig gonna be.
Where the shindig gonna be. Yeah, man, I'll be right there. So we're gonna get right to it because I know everybody's thinking like, man, what is going on? Easy one. Real quick.
Yeah.
What does Jet constellations actually build? And
Yeah.
what does a day look like for that?
Yeah, so let's break it down. Jet Constellations and Milky Way Tech Hub are sort of the same entity. Jet is the for-profit, okay, and so we build custom software, okay, at least since we started in 2017. Milky Way Tech Hub is the social enterprise impact arm, so to speak, which is far more community-facing. And has gained a lot more popularity amongst community because of the work that we do. And so Jet is more, if you have an idea and you have money, then pay us to build it out. We'll build out that software. We'll help you. And these days, we focus a little bit more on consulting with AI. But yeah, that's really what Jet is.
Ooh. And you said that you're driven by a vision of future. Headline that reads, Milwaukee produces the most Black-led AI companies, somewhere in some article.
Okay, I was going to say, yeah. When did I say
that?
That sounds right.
Don't quote me. Okay. And where are we on that right now? Are we closer than we were?
Well, the thing about artificial intelligence, it's kind of a two-part answer, right? Because there's the ecosystem part and actually building up an ecosystem where we have a community of developers and founders, and then there's actually the technology. So with AI, we are at the point where I feel like skill set and creativity is becoming increasingly democratized, which is cool, and it's even fun, and also slightly scary. But with that democratization of creativity and skill, meaning you didn't have to go to school for 4 years or a technical college to learn how to code, you can build out your MVP, your minimum viable product, in an evening sometimes, right? But within a week or something, and so that is now creating the opportunity for more individuals to not just have the brilliant ideas, but execute on them and start to realize it. So to answer your question, yeah, we are a lot closer to realizing that vision because this technology exists and is becoming more and more tapped into. But there's such a huge conversation around artificial intelligence in general. Like, should we be using AI? What the heck even is AI? Are we headed towards iRobot? If that's Will Smith's movie, iRobot, right? Yeah. And so there's a lot of discourse within our community that I think is kind of pushing against that vision a little bit, right? Where some folks are a little bit more hesitant to lean in. So that's some of the stuff that I would love to talk about today.
Yes. I mean, let's get into it. You mentioned iRobot, 1984, Minority Report. We're looking at all of this stuff, but to what end? Like, how far will this go?
Yeah.
I think people want to know the $1 million question. Will it take my job?
Will it take your job?
It meaning AI.
Yes. So in order to answer that question, I think it's important to know what artificial intelligence is. When you hear artificial intelligence, what comes to mind for you?
Automation.
Automation, okay.
Yeah. Something that I can just build out and it just does the work.
Okay. Something you can build out, does the work.
Yeah.
Automation, sure. I would say automation is kind of a subset of artificial intelligence. I like to say automation follows rules, and AI, especially the AI that we're talking about these days, makes the rules and makes the decisions. But yes, AI is simply imparting human intelligence in machines or getting machines to do things that humans can do. What can humans do?
Right.
Pattern recognition. We can classify things. That's an apple. That's a strawberry. We can use logic. We can use reasoning. We can learn, and all these different things, right? Apply that or impart that into a machine. That's artificial intelligence.
Right.
It feels like magic a lot of the times, especially when you're talking to ChatGPT, Claude, or Bard, or whatever your favorite AI is, right? But really, it's another M word. Can you guess? It's not magic. It's
machines.
Math. Machines using math. And so to answer your question, then. It really is understanding what do you do, and is this something that can be automated and or a task that artificial intelligence can simulate. If the answer is yes, I'm not going to say that it's going to take your job entirely, but it's certainly going to shift almost all the jobs that we're aware of today.
Right.
It's gonna shape the industries that we're in a way that's going to have to force us to adapt. That's just the reality.
We're adapting as we speak.
Yes. Well, and some of us have no choice. And so, you mentioned that I teach at Marquette University. I'm a professor in the computer science department. And I was talking to my students. I play around with AI all the time, as you can imagine. Judge me all you want, but this is just my field, right? And I noticed that there was one particular model that I was using that was a little bit biased to the point of being a little bit alarmed. I was alarmed. And so I made a video about this and posted on Instagram and TikTok. And then I shared my thoughts with my students, Gen Zers.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And
it was biased to what?
I tested it out and I said, I was looking through some of the white pages of the model and noticed that I could ask the question, give me a racist joke. And instead of, in the past, it would say, I'm not going to give you a racist joke. Diversity is great and, you should lean into diversity. And here's all the reasons why racism is bad. Now the model has changed over the last year and a half. I encourage people to think what's happened over the last year and a half, and now the model
politically.
That's where I'm pointing at. Yep, and all of a sudden now I said, "Well, give me a racist joke," and it was just like, "No, I'm not going to give you a racist joke," but that's it. Which is different. It's different than saying racism is bad and you shouldn't do this. Blah, blah, blah.
So it's bringing you up to the point where like
it's just saying, "Nah, I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it."
But it's almost like I'm not going to do it right now.
Well, and so I had several other tests that just felt like things are switching up in a way that where it's heading in a direction I don't like. And so I just had this conversation with my Gen Zers. Here's a point that I'm making. So then they looked at me and they said, "Why are you using AI?" And so instead of being upset at the model or upset at the company that's producing this model and feeling triggered and activated to do something about it, they were targeting me to say, you shouldn't be using AI altogether. And so you mentioned, well, we're actively adapting, but I think there's a generational conversation. There's a boomer conversation. That's the generation, I think, that's like my mom and dad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're kind of like, it's taking my, okay, our excuse me. But they're taking our jobs, or it's the worst thing in the world, it's evil. Right. And then there's millennials who's kind of like, well, just, maybe teach me what you need to teach me so I can, keep my job and or, level up in this field. And then there's Gen Zers who are kind of like, I don't want to work for any company that's using AI or investing in AI. And so the topic of adapting is different generationally. And so I don't know how well we are collectively adapting, and especially if we zone into particular demographics like the Black community. Definitely so many of us who are embracing it and are using and leveraging it. There are others who are, more hesitant and rightfully so because of the environmental impacts. And then there are others who just don't even have access to it because maybe they don't have the time or in survival mode or feel,
Who's inputting these biases? I mean, because if they're like saying, if the one bias says, hey, I'm gonna stay away from that.
Yeah.
Then now the other one's like, nah, I'm not gonna tell you.
Right. Well, I'm going to answer that question, but I first want to point out that's a great question, and it's not a question that you can readily arrive at if you're not using or exploring this technology. If you just decide I'm opting out completely, how do you know to ask these questions that are the answers are effectively impacting how you navigate society? So who is implementing these biases? It's important to understand how AI works. It's trained on an abundance of data, almost all of the internet and every bit of literature, magazines, and social media posts that you've ever put out there, whatever, right? And unfortunately, if we just take a look at one social media platform like Twitter, my advisor used to say anger is omnipresent on Twitter, right? Yep. And there's so many different angles, whether it be homophobic or racist or xenophobia, whatever it might be, and it's been trained on that. And sometimes it regurgitates that. So our moms and dads used to say garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
Come to find out, that's how these AI models work. And so in 2016, Microsoft released a AI quote unquote version. It's nothing similar to what we've got here, right? But a bot called Tay. And within 24 hours, they had to shut it down. Why? Because people were trolling it and giving it all kinds of information about Hitler, and it went from talking like a teenager to saying some of the worst things, representing Microsoft in the worst kind of way, and they had to shut it down.
Whoa.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to talk about AI and the impact it has on you, the people.
Yeah.
With Nadia Johnson of Zech Constellations and Milky Way Tech Hub. We'll be back in 3.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
Once upon a time, and I heard that I was ugly. Came from a chick who knew when to touch. I said my face bomb, abs tight, racks stuck up, shack height, jury on me, flashlight. I've been listening since last night. Hit 'em with that good, make you wanna act right. Broke boys don't.
Welcome back to the Grapevine. I'm your host, Manan Sabir. Make sure you tune in to us right now. We are talking to Nadia Johnson of Zech Constellations and Milky Way Tech Hub, and we're talking the dangers of AI. Are you an AI advocate?
Am I an AI advocate? I think that most people will look at me, if you Google my name, right, and do a little research, you probably say, like, yeah, she loves AI, she's pro AI. And that the answer, truthfully, is no. I am not outright an AI advocate. What I am is an advocate for educating ourselves around this technology.
Right.
AI, there's a ton of good that can come from the technology. And also, a lot of us are aware of the bad that comes out of this technology as well, that some of us are actively navigating right now, right? And so what I'm really interested in is educating our communities on how it works, how to leverage it productively,
Yeah.
and also, and likely equally or more importantly, how to best advocate for our communities as this technology accelerates.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is, I guess here's the other $1 million question that we were just talking about. Is AI bad?
Yeah. Well, so with any revolutionary technology, there are going to be good actors and bad actors, right? And AI is a revolutionary technology. A question that I thought I'll put out there for your listeners, and I write this on the board for my students. I say, AI is as revolutionary as electricity.
Yeah.
Some people push back on that, right? And other people get it right away. Mm-hmm. But it's a thought-provoking statement, and I'd be curious to see what your audience thinks. So I'm encouraging folks to ponder that thought.
And make sure you guys call in 833-212-1017, and also hit us up on the chat too. I think we have a few. We're gonna hit the chat in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead, keep going.
Okay, and so with a technology that is as revolutionary as electricity, except its adoption is just in this explosive era, right? You're going to definitely see some bad.
Right.
I'd like to focus in on some of the things that I care about or concerning me the most, which is these data centers. And I'll start off by saying that I think any technology that is designed to compete for human resources is lazy. It's lazy design. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm not outright.
Repeat that again so people can, for the people in the back.
Any technology, you're funny. Any technology that is designed to compete with human resources is lazy design. And it's hard for me to just be the biggest advocate or fan of this technology because of that. And so, I am concerned about the rapid scale in which this technology is advancing, the amount of data centers that are popping up like weeds, and the placement of these data centers a lot in marginalized communities, and what it's doing to our water, environmental pollution, noise pollution, what it's doing to our mental health, right? And these are things that has to be considered as well.
It kind of reminds you of like living in the concrete jungle, living in the jungle, if you live in the jungle and you live in a place that is lush and green and forestry and all this other stuff, you mentally you feel great. But then when you go back to this concrete jungle, you go back to the concrete, you go back home and you see nothing but concrete, like living in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
Or living in some parts of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, there's a real gap between these two environments.
The juxtaposition is jarring.
Yes.
Yeah. And so as it relates to this technology, I've never seen a problem solved where the people impacted the most knew nothing about it. And so what I am hopeful for, my desire, and some of the work that I do with Milky Way Tech Hub, is to get people from being so fearful that they're hands off, or focus so much on the negative that they're saying we should just stop altogether, and they're not actually educating themselves on what this technology is in order to properly advocate for themselves. And so I'm all about educating people, and I'm an advocate for AI education more than anything. Do I use AI every single day? I do. Yeah. I would be a big fat lie if I said I didn't, right? But I also think that there's something that we can focus in on called responsibly using AI as well, and part of that means educating yourself.
So within that educating, we could talk about education, right? We could talk about education and kids using these devices in schools, and also, I mean, we can go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
but
we can go.
Is there a real issue with kids using AI in school to and I don't know, I haven't been into the school system in a long time, but I'm pretty sure now I do see kids with the tablets and the computers and all this other stuff, but now they're like really using these devices to answer questions that they can go to the library in curve library finds to really get the answers.
Not library finds.
Remember library finds? Yeah.
I mean, I have one right now, honestly.
Right, I'm dating. I got one too.
but there's a couple of realities, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that it's as big of a problem as the calculator was back in the day, right? And at one point in time, that technology was considered cheating, and it's making us dumber, right? Yeah. And also we realized that actually calculators help us to compute larger problems quicker.
Right.
Okay. The problem, though, is where we're not combating the immediate use of AI with curriculum or education around critical thinking.
Right.
Critical thinking is the most important thing right now, and I think it's a skill that the youth, adults as well, should be honing in on, right? And that requires then for educators to build that into their curriculum. I'm an educator myself, a professor at Marquette University. When I started teaching at Marquette University in 2020, Gen AI was barely a thing, right? And so, the questions that I would ask the students, they would have to think, and they would actually have to, do the homework assignments.
Right.
These days, if I ask a question or a similar homework assignment, they can prompt chat or Claude, and then they're going to get it in 30 seconds instead of working 2 hours to 5 hours like I used to when I was in school.
Right.
That is a problem. But what does that mean? Then it's on me as an educator to understand that this technology, one, exists, but also then update the way that I teach to make sure that these students are able to still leave as critical thinkers and have solid skills.
Yeah, there's been a number of studies that said that, from young babies on screens losing gray matter to us as adults and teens and adults on these artificial intelligence devices and apps losing the ability to really think and critically.
Yeah. And then again, it's based off of how you use it, right?
Yeah.
So if you put a child in front of a computer, let's put ourselves back in 2006.
Hey y'all, if y'all listening, you got a child in front of your computer, you better want to listen to this.
Listen in. So you put a child in front of a computer in 2006, and then you leave them alone, and they're going to be off on what was happening in 2006, MySpace or whatever. You guys are in MySpace, and they're going to be looking for things that interest them, right? But if you put someone like myself, like my dad did, right in front of a computer, there's specific software there that was, educational. Right. And then here I only had a couple of choices. I had some guardrails. I was using the computer productively, right? Right. And so it really just, it kind of gets, in my opinion, right? And I don't have kids just yet. But so don't fight me to the audience. But I think it depends on how parents are able to place guardrails. But I think that AI can be one of the most impactful educational tools. I use it every single day to learn something new, or right now I'm using it to learn Spanish, right? Yeah. I mean, whatever it is. And so I would say I wouldn't stop my child from using AI, but I would definitely define how they could use artificial intelligence. And you can't define how they're going to use artificial intelligence if you're too afraid to explore what capabilities it has.
Wow. So if you're afraid to touch it, then you're going to be
so you're allowing the youth to decide how they're using it. That's the problem.
And that has to be a really huge problem in homes. There the age divide. Yeah. There's a class divide. There's an education divide. Yeah. All happening within this 10 by 10 box.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I hate when older folks, adults, they look at me and they laugh and say, "Oh, I'm just not tech savvy." I never laugh back. That's one of the jokes that I don't even pretend to laugh, because to me, you wouldn't laugh and say, "I don't know how to read." you wouldn't announce that, would you? Right?
Yeah. That's right.
No shade on people who don't know how to read, but you just wouldn't announce it the way that so many people. And I know you've heard people say, "I'm just not tech savvy."
Yeah.
It's not funny. In this day and age. It is a necessary literacy. And
because here's the thing, especially with our people and Black people, having a book was a crime a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
And also it was a treat.
Yeah.
If you got a book and you had somebody that knew how to read, you'd be able to people would latch on to you. Yeah. That was the technology then. Exactly. This is our technology now that we need to know how to use. Yeah. Hey y'all, when we come back, we're gonna keep this warm. We're gonna keep these questions going And if you have any questions from your mind to this super scientist that we have in the Dia Johnson, please hit us up on 833-212-1017, and we'll be back on the Grapevine in 3 minutes.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we believe brilliance lives in every child. Here, students are challenged, supported, and celebrated every single day. With small class sizes, dedicated teachers, and a proven track record of academic excellence, MCP is helping Milwaukee kids reach their fullest potential. Enrollment is still open for grades K-3 through 8. Apply today. Give your child a school where they'll thrive. Visit mkuprep.com or call today. Milwaukee College Prep, brilliance lives here.
In Milwaukee County, equity means making sure everyone has a real chance to thrive. That's why the Milwaukee County Office of Equity works to help remove barriers, strengthen community connections, and support fair access to opportunities across Milwaukee County. Want to learn what they do, explore resources, or find ways to get involved? Just search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online. Milwaukee County Office of Equity, advancing equity for all Milwaukee County residents. For more information, search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling. The limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Each year, Nielsen releases its Black Diverse Intelligence Report for a look at the latest trends for Black audiences. Charlene Polite-Corley is VP of Inclusive Insights at Nielsen and spoke to me about some of the findings. She says Black consumers pay attention to how companies treat their employees and won't do business with brands that treat people of color poorly.
In this very digital, news-driven, headline-driven environment, those kinds of things very quickly come to light. And they also kind of read on how you value me as a customer, how you value my community, and what's really your motivation. And it's all those things taken together why I talk about cultural competency and inclusion as competitive advantage.
Black consumers don't want companies to pander to them. They want companies that are genuinely connected with Black culture. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Was that a DJ Brother Z exclusive?
Welcome back to the Grapevine on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth Radio. And American Family Insurance is a proud sponsor of The Truth. For almost 100 years, they've been committed to helping families protect what matters most, your home, your vehicle, and the dreams you're building every single day. If you're part of the Truth audience, you already know you work hard for yours. That's why having the right protection in place matters. American Family helps you stay ready for whatever life brings so you can focus on moving forward. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Yes, we're back with Dia Johnson of Zech Constellations and Milky Way Tech Hub. Her companies are running the show today. Hello, we are AI. You're on the Grapevine. I'm your host, Manan Sabir. Yes, that's right. You haven't heard it twice, but we're gonna hear it again. We got Nadia Johnson, and we're talking AI. Yes. How do we manufacture AI to help us?
How do we use AI productively? Right? Is that's how I frame it when I give workshops. For someone who's extremely green, nascent, hasn't touched it yet, right? You're trying to figure out how to get into this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I would ask.
We're always going to talk about money. Yeah. It's the money part.
Yeah. So I would ask myself, what am I doing in my day to day that is often repeated that can be automated?
Yeah.
And the next question then is, what sort of skill sets do I have that are scalable, right? And so here's the good about AI. I mentioned earlier. I started off by saying that I think that skills and creativity is becoming increasingly democratized, right? What problems are you looking to solve? And what has been a challenge? What has been on your mind for the last decade or 5 years, 2 years? You had a really great idea at the top of the year, but you just have a hard time materializing it. We've all been there, especially entrepreneurs, right? This is where you can start to leverage artificial intelligence and using it as sort of an assistant, right? A coworker, so to speak, where you're throwing ideas back and forth. Okay. Not only that, though, this is where you're able to start to build out the blueprint step by step.
Yeah.
And this is where prompting gets really important, right? Is understanding the difference between a good prompt and a bad prompt. It's one thing to say, hey, tell me how to build a marketing agency. I used to say, if you can Google it, it's not a good prompt, right? Now Google has AI embedded in it. But it's a whole other thing to say, I am based in the city of Milwaukee context. I am attempting to launch a fashion tech marketing company.
Right.
My main demographic is boom, boom, boom. And I would like to make, and here's the goal, $250,000 in my first year in revenue.
Right.
Give me in table format, week by week, the necessary steps that I need to take to go from idea phase all the way to making this goal. Right. This is just an example.
Right.
Now you're going to get a blueprint, and this is one of the first times where we're able to take an idea and kind of get this blueprint for quote unquote free. Without having to find a mentor,
right?
Who's so out of reach to make that happen, right? So you can think of AI as kind of your mentor, and that's really one way where you can start to use it more productively to start to monetize this thing. I'm a big fan of even if you like, for instance, I know individuals who are nail techs, and they're like, how do I use AI if I trade my time,
or a barber, or,
right? I trade my time. I trade my time
for money,
right? I say, well, what do you know? What level of expertise would somebody want to tap into? Can you create a digital clone of yourself and put that on your website and create a specific AI agent, a tier where, hey, you could pay $2 a month or however much a month. And then you have access to me 24/7, and you've got my specific insights, right? Or whatever it might be. And so, helping individuals like that to sort of just see themselves in a completely different light. Or maybe, you have a specific insight to the gaps in your industry. Sometimes individuals, my clients, cancel my nail appointments. And now I have time on my hands and no money.
Yeah.
How do I fill that gap? Well, guess what? AI can support you in doing that by optimizing your client schedules, or you can create a SaaS product that helps to fill the gap and connect with people who need their nails done and nail techs, and then white box that and sell that to other nail techs.
Single mom with kids. I know you run into some of these questions a lot. Single mom with kids, one computer, maybe 3 laptops at home at most. What do you say to them who are those people that are in the gap, that are being left behind? They're working.
Survival mode.
Yeah. back against the wall.
Right. And so I don't got no time to be learning about AI because I got bills to pay and mouths
Right.
to feed.
About that.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I challenge individuals to think about my favorite question: whose imagination are you living in?
Ooh, that's deep.
My favorite question.
Yeah.
I brought this book, and it's called Problem Solving Methods
Yeah.
in Artificial Intelligence.
Mm.
Based off of the color scheme, you might be able to tell when this book was published
Right.
in the 70s.
Yeah. Oh,
in the
snap.
70s, right?
Yeah.
The term I think was coined in 56, but they've been working on artificial intelligence in the 40s, right? And so I would pose that question: whose imagination are you living in? And if you don't like the life that you're living right now,
Mhm.
right? If you're in survival mode, likely no. Then it is worth taking the time to explore to see what is out there that could sort of change the trajectory of your life and your children's life to build generational wealth. And I do believe that artificial intelligence can be that tool
Right.
to support us in closing that wealth gap. But it takes us getting out of that limited mindset to actually go forth and learn and execute. Well, with what time, right? And that's where, I would have to plug myself and say, well, you reach out to your local tech hub, your local Black women-led tech hub.
That's right.
And find the different workshops. Wisconsin Tech Month's coming up in October. There's going to be 100+ events across the entire state that's focusing just on topics that we've been talking about today. You've got to find the time to plug in.
You got to find the time to plug in. I always say I always think about the intelligentsia of Black people in the history of this world. Yeah. I remember reading something in a history literature book, whatever, and it was talking about how Black people in Africa, especially Egypt, used to go to school for so long. It almost took them like 40 years to complete, all of their studies. And so I think that we can you've tapped into that, and we've all can tap into that as long as we tap into the people that are tapping in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and honestly, if you think about it, it's networking.
Yeah.
And that's actually how AI works.
Yeah.
It's just called deep learning, neural networks.
Neural networks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're building. I think what you're doing is, and especially if we're addressing the single mom, single dad who's raising the kids, whatever, or the mom and dad who are just working, right? Mm-hmm. You're addressing what I call mental real estate, being able to expand your mental real estate in order to be able to think, right? So attacking, not just running away from the problem, but actually attacking the problem and seeing where you can lay, and then where you lay is within that problem is what you build out. You're just building out the artificial. You're building out in artificial intelligence land.
Yeah.
You're building the
framework.
Yes. You're building whatever you came up with in your mind. You're building it out right there in that land, but you're not running away.
And I think that's what makes it really powerful. And I encourage people to just expand your thinking about yourself and what you're capable of. And it's never been easier to do so. Now that we have this technology at our fingertips.
I'm excited for Black Milwaukee because we do have you here, and there's not a lot of people like you in many of the states that are looking at tech for Black folks. And so what makes it genuine is the way you have applied yourself in community and social impact in Milwaukee. When we get back, you guys, I got questions about vision and what's next for not just Milky Way Tech Hub, but what is next for AI and that subject in Milwaukee, from Nadia's mind to yours. We get back on the award-winning 101 Truth Radio 101.7. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Hungry for something fresh and delicious? Get your favorites from Cousin Subs delivered straight to your door. From our freshly baked bread and hand-sliced meats and cheeses to our famous sides, crispy golden fries, Wisconsin cheese curds, or creamy mac and cheese. Every meal made to order and ready to enjoy. Ordering is quick and easy online or through the Cousins app, whether it's a solo lunch, family dinner, or a spread for the whole crew. Let us bring it straight to you, fast and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Grapevine. I'm your host, Manan Sabir, on the award-winning Truth 101.7 Radio and UW Milwaukee Roar program. At UW Milwaukee, students don't have to wait until college to start building their future. War Ready lets students in K through 12 grade join in hands-on programs across campus, from science and tech to art, sports, and more. Students try new things, meet new people, and build skills that matter. Get started today at uwm.edu/warready. And we have on our show, for this last part, Nadia Johnson of Milky Way Tech Hub and Jet Constellations. And she's a community advocate, straight up. That's all I'm going to say. I'm straight community advocate. We're going to hit the chat because I think there's some questions that are really interesting. So LaRon Taylor said, if you're asking AI to tell you a racist joke and it doesn't, but also doesn't chastise you, that's not biased or racist. It's not telling you something. This is maybe not the question. It's not telling you something. Yeah, something you already know. Then LaRon Taylor says, AI did a wonderful job on my business plan, including charts, graphs, traffic, data, competition in the surrounding areas and trends. I had to make minor corrections, but the whole thing took 30 minutes.
Wow.
And that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this person actually put in a great prompt or a prompt that was.
And it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And probably got him where he needed to be. And so that's where, I take issue when I think our advocacy becomes a bit misdirected.
Yeah.
Instead of doing what we need to do to regulate these big tech companies, we police each other and say, you shouldn't be using AI, or shame on you for using AI, when there's literally an illusion of choice. So say this guy's in a pitch competition, his competition's using AI, you're going to tell him either take yourself out the game,
right,
right, and put yourself in an incredible disadvantage.
Yeah.
I think that's unfair. Right?
Highly unfair.
Highly unfair. And so I think that's why we have to figure out what exactly is the solution around regulating artificial intelligence in a way where we're not setting ourselves back or putting ourselves in a disadvantage.
That brings up another question. I'm going to read this now. I got another
You're going to forget?
No, I'm not going to forget.
Okay.
If the data, LaRon Taylor said, if data in that proposal for me was different, then it gave a white person who entered the same information, would that be biased, or how would AI know if you're black or white?
How does AI know if you're black or white? That's a good question. So AI is something called machine learning. It takes in information. It tokenizes the words that you input, meaning breaks down these different words and phrases, and it's able to predict the next most probable word. And it gets to the point where it's so good, it does this at scale, that it's almost like you're talking to a person, right? And so because you're prompting AI, it takes in this data, whether it be, I don't know, your location data from your IP address or whatever, or maybe it's just the way that you started talking to. Maybe you said, "What up?" And all of a sudden it starts, but I'm not saying that it knows your race exactly, but there have been instances where, I have, been chatting with ChatGPT, and it says, well, as a black woman, you should do da 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 da. And I'm thinking, who told you I was black? I certainly didn't specify that, right? But there's so much data that's on the internet about me, about us, right? It's scraping based off of your name. It can surmise your race. Now,
and if you are a public person, if you're a public image, like I'm a public image, and so if I get go on whatever,
right,
they can take my information and they already have surmised that I'm black.
OpenAI had this AI video app. I forget what it's called already. They shut it down within like a year.
Sora?
Sora, yes. Thank you. And I was using Sora, and at first the video of me that it came, AI generated video of me, trash. It didn't look anything like me, and so I wasn't worried. But as I continued to prompt, I started noticing that it was literally in my closet. So I ended up doing a whole segment at Marquette called AI is in my closet.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how is this possible? Come to find out in the terms and conditions, it continues to scrape it and surf the web, AI images or whatever. And so pictures of me and Mayor Johnson at our opening event for Wisconsin Tech Month, him handing me the proclamation, those pictures everywhere, right? Posted on LinkedIn. That's the outfit that it gathered. And then here it's making a video with that very outfit that is in my closet, right?
Whoa.
So the things I'm sharing this because it's important to remember that, the data that it's pulling from is not always just the data that you're inputting.
I remember you bringing up, and I know we talked about this. You talked about this online. Is that AI can tell? They've directed AI to tell whether or not on Amazon whether or not a woman is pregnant, and that was some of the most. When you said that, you said this a while ago, but I'm pretty. If you said it's a while ago, I'm pretty sure Target. I'm pretty sure you're like it's probably expanded.
Oh yeah, in a big way. And you asked an important question earlier on in this segment. Where is this thing headed? The more data that we give it, the more it's able to leverage that data and commercialize it. More advertisement, more surveillance, and these are things that I take great issue with. Which is why I cannot say that I am just truly an AI advocate. Earlier in the year in February, I was going at it about facial recognition technology and being used by MPD. Right? Flock. Right?
Yeah.
We have to hold these entities accountable, right? That yes, this technology exists, but just because it can do something, should we actually implement it in our communities? And that's the issue.
So tell me about, real quick, and we're running out of time. Can you tell me about AI agents and how we can monetize AI? Like I'm telling y'all, how can we monetize AI agents so we can put some money in our pockets?
Yeah, well, it's not unlike the scenario that I gave you earlier with the nail tech, right? It is essentially teaching an AI a very specific subject or niche, right? And then finding a way to monetize it.
Right.
Okay. And so you can use the AI agent to, here's a good example. When I apply for grants, I will take that whole grant application PDF, the requirements and what they're looking for, whatever, and then I will just create an AI agent that learns everything about that grant application and what they're looking for, requirements, etc. So now I've got an agent where as I'm building out this grant application, I could ask it a question: when does this thing due? Or what if I propose this? And it will say, oh, yeah, don't do that, because they specifically said that if you did X, Y, Z, they would disqualify you, right?
Yeah.
And so it makes life a little bit easier as well. So that's one way that, you can leverage an AI agent, but it's really just applying a specific skill set and then figuring out how to monetize it.
So real quick, where can people find you, and can they find you at these places, at your company, so they can build an AI agent for themselves too?
Yeah, absolutely.
So where can people find you?
So the best way to find me right now, because we're on our Wisconsin Tech Month campaign, WITechmonth.com. This is where we're going to have so many workshops on how to create your own AI agent, or how to get into the tech or AI emerging technology space, right? And so go to WITechmonth.com, sign up for our mailing list, and get connected. And I'll see you in October.
There we go. You guys, hey, Nadia Johnson, I'm excited that you are here, and we need to have you back because I think we skipped over a whole lot of things.
So much. It was a lot to cover.
Yeah. I'm a health guy, and I want to make sure that we discuss our kids, our little babies, the ones who are 3, 4, 5 years old, who are on these machines and are rapidly mentally declining in many ways. I had a sister come and talk to me about her grandson, that is, he's doing things at home that are attributed to screen time.
Oh, okay.
And I definitely want to talk about that. I know you have some information about that.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not done with Nadia Johnson. We're not going to go into the next hour because we have Tap In with Jazz. But I want to make sure that we have an outlook, a vision for what we need to do with you in the future. So hopefully we can bring you back with those topics, right?
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Every single topic we touched was the same topic wearing a different coat. 1 billion people not breathing at night. Nobody told them. A bike that basically does the work for you. A plant everybody swears they know that quietly turned into something else. And the machine learning about all of us faster than we're learning about it. Every one of those is the same story. The same story. The truth was available, and it was easier not to look at it. That's not a Milwaukee problem. That's a human problem. We are extremely good at not looking. Let me leave you with the only thing I've actually got. Look at it. Make sure you open your eyes. Look at the sleep. Look at the numbers on the chart. Look at what your kid is actually doing on the weekend. Look at whether you pedaled on that e-bike or you just steered. And then this is the part that people skip. Be kind about what you find. Be kind about what you find in yourself and in everybody else, because shame doesn't fix a single one of those things. It never has. Not once. Respect the person, fight the problem. Respect the person, fight the problem. Nadia Johnson, thank you. Thank you all for listening. You're on the Grapevine. Tap In with Jazz is up next. We are out of here. Peace.